A very warm welcome to all our viewers. Welcome to this special exclusive chat that I am going to have today. In fact, in today's discussion, what I'm going to talk about is about one particular company that is doing a lot of improvement in the agriculture sector. They are using a lot of technology to make a lot of significant changes and help not just the agriculture sector but the entire food value chain. In fact, they are using a lot of artificial intelligence, the Internet of Things, lot of stuff that they are doing, and the company that I'm talking about is AgNext. Now I'm joined by Dr. Subrat Panda. He is the Chief Technology Officer of AgNext. Dr. Panda, welcome to DY365 and thank you so much for being here to talk about AgNext with our viewers.
So, thank you, Anitam, for this opportunity, and thank you, DI365. This has been a really warm introduction for AgNext and for what we bring to the agri-tech space. Thank you, Anitam. Looking forward to the interaction with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dr. Panda, first, of course, I would want to hear from you the journey of AgNext so far. Of course, that is one part of what I want to hear from you, and also the areas of expertise and everything that AgNext is doing.
So we are a 5-year-old startup. We were incubated at IIT Kharagpur. Then we got funded by AIDA. And followed by marquee investors in the agri-tech space, which primarily was Omnivore, followed by Kalari Capital. And we, last year we closed our Series A. It was the largest at agri-tech space at that point of $20 million, which was led by AWI, which is Falcon Edge, AWI Incubation Fund. Falcon Edge is based out of New York. And the current investors also invested in that. So our journey has been pretty interesting, I would say. Because we have moved from a lot of so we only started off, like every startup. There are a lot of things that we started off in the IoT space, right? Which was on pre-harvest farm side of things, looking at hyperspectral imaging. How can that help farmers, and all that? But one of the main thing which really this was Tarun's vision, I would say, is quality, right? The essence of quality, which is very relevant in all the food chains or food value chains, I would say, is a very subjective thing, right? In a sense that there is no technology which is really fast and effective and working well whenever a commodity changes hands. For example, when you are procuring tomatoes, right, from a farmer, what is the basis of quality? How do you define quality there? Apart from this guy can go and feel and touch and say, this is the rate of that which I am buying here, right? There was a lack of objectivity, and this is what led our vision into say that why don't we try to make quality fast? Right. Why don't we try to make quality more objective? Why don't we try to make quality more trustworthy, right? And what essentially is trying to build in the entire process is trust, right? So that whenever a commodity exchanges hands, trust is established by virtue of technology being used in the food value chain. So we then moved into post-harvest space, right? And we started off with, we are in a lot of verticals, by the way. We are in tea, we are in beverages, we are in milk, we are in spices, we are in grains, animal feed. I can talk a lot about all of them.
Right.
But the crux of our technology or the solutions that we bring to our customers, right, is centered around quality.
Right.
Quality is a trifecta of AI, IoT, and data. Right. When I say this, what I mean to say is, see, IoT means you're trying to build a sensor which is at least trying to mimic the behavior of the test which is done to evaluate quality. For example, when you have to measure moisture, right, or particular commodity, you would use something like a resistive method which was old, and we move on to capacitive, and then to NIR based methods to measure moisture, right. What essentially you're trying to do is you are trying to sense that data, right, sense that moisture using wavelength in case of NIR spectra, capacitance in terms of in a capacitive moisture meter, resistance in terms of resistive moisture meter, and then you're trying to extract a lot of data for multiple data points, then try to build an AI model on top of it, right.
Okay.
So all these years, the last 4.5 years, we have invested a lot of time collecting data from a lot of sources and building models, right, from those sources, and trying to, and the most important parameter or dimension in which we have been trying to get all these things done is in the dimension of time, right. When I say dimension of time means, today a test that you do for a protein or a fiber or ash content or oil content, sand silica content, they take a lot of time. When I say a lot of time, why I will say a lot of time when I say that we can do the same test in under a minute, right? Uh, uh, Excluding sampling part takes time everywhere, but if you can do that time in the minute and the actual time taken is 6 hours to 12 hours or maybe a day,
Right.
the curcumin test takes a day typically. So how do you, the effectivity that you brought in, the speed that you brought in that entire process, is by virtue of using a lot of data, a lot of AI algorithms on top of it,
Right.
and using an IoT sensor to sense the data out of the device. Now, yeah, so that is where we are at. I get lost talking about this at times. So yeah.
Yeah, because I guess in a very short span of time, AgNext is doing a lot of stuff as far as technology and our agriculture sector and the whole range of produce is concerned. But I'm really curious to know. I think you mentioned that for the technology to be used and to get certain kind of results as far as the quality of a product is concerned, ideally it takes somewhere from 6 hours to 12 hours, but using the data and the technology, you are able to do that in just about a minute?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I can dig that a bit further, right?
Sure.
So let me help you understand with a simple
Yes.
example. So we know that today autonomous cars are possible, right? I mean, there are autonomous cars, and the at the crux of the problem, the solution lies in using a lot of deep learning techniques and computer vision techniques, right, along with other sensing techniques, which have been used to solve this problem. When you use a grain grader, right, somebody is assaying grains, say wheat, right. So when you do procurement of wheat, the quality of wheat that is seen, right,
Yeah.
is based on some physical parameters. Some says because of some characteristic it will be called a kernel burnt or a weevilled or a black tape, or it is immature shriveled, right. There are a lot of definition of these, right.
Right.
And what people do, they use the sense of vision to go and sort these grains out according to the definition of. So I mean, yeah. So what we did is collected data from all those sources. We brought them in, right, and we built by virtue of those deep learning and computer vision based algorithms. We could build algorithms which does the segregation according to label data that we present to it. Now, the guy who was doing the classification earlier
Right.
on the ground,
Yeah.
he used to take around 30 to 40 minutes to do the sorting of the sample that is provided. What we got into is we can do that in like a minute or two, right, depending on which commodity it is. The bigger grains take, when it is gram or chickpeas or soya bean, they can be done under a minute. But when there are very small grains, it takes longer time,
Right.
usually 90 seconds or so. But look at the productivity gain that has come through the entire process.
Yes.
By virtue of data being available, by virtue of IoT being available, which is the sensing technique that we use, and the AI algorithms, we could bring down the from 40 minutes to under a minute or two, right. So that is the power of technology that I am talking about. Let me give another example,
Right.
a much better example,
Okay.
right? If a wet chemistry lab test that is done, right, it typically takes around 6 hours, right, for proteins, right?
Yes.
It can take longer as well. With our NIR technology that we have built, we can get that done in we can do that under a minute, depending number of rotation and variations that we do.
Right.
And it's available, right? I mean, it's available to you then and there. You don't have to go to a lab and do the test and then come back. So that's the power of technology I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Is AgNext already into the entire range of products the agricultural produce?
So we have it in, like I said, we are in multiple verticals in term. We started off with tea, we then moved on to, we have product for milk, we have product for grains vertical, which is, wheat, maize, soybean, and others,
Right.
which is the chemical side as well as physical side. We have solutions for spices, which includes turmeric and chili. We are also building solutions for the other spices. I think we are adding commodities every day to our kitty.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Yeah.
Some are in research, some are at the product validation level, and some are already deployed.
Right. Another thing that I wanted to know from you is that where exactly, like how this entire quality testing thing is done. Are there labs somewhere? Suppose somebody from anywhere in the northeastern region, like of course you've already entered the Meghalaya market as far as the Lakadong turmeric. I think you have already picked that up. So besides, say, any other state wants to get their products tested, how is that done? How can they do that?
Right. So I think the way that we typically help businesses or organizations in term is, either somebody is buying or somebody is selling, right?
Okay.
Because that is where the quality angle, right, for them is very important. They need to know what they are procuring, primarily from buyer perspective, right? And for seller, it is important when the seller is not quality aware, right? For example, a farmer, when we did the whole chili assaying thing for the hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
In this chili
Yeah.
assaying product, chili assaying solution with digital in Telangana last year, and we are doing it this year as well. We had to do the buyers were buying chili from the farmers, right?
Right.
We could give them the right quality parameters, assayed there on the field where they were, at their location, or at some locations we did at where there were labs to and people used to come there for testing their product. It was then and there that they could get the quality, the produce that they were going to sell, and they got right value realized because of that, right? And this year they wanted more, in the sense that, can you also do moisture for that? Can you also do aflatoxin content of that? So it's like the value system,
Yeah.
or either say the belief system in technology, right? Is kind of getting people are getting aware, and the more they are getting aware, the value realization of these things, right, on the basis of quality, will be far more than what we see when people not aware, right?
Yes.
So that I think that's how we plan to go in every area, right? I mean, you start small, help them get value, and once the ROI is delivered, they will ask for more, and then you build or more on top of that, right? And then the entire quality thing is not just, see what is happening when I said here in this particular area was this. So there's trade happening, right? Somebody was buying and somebody was selling, and then they were realizing what value are they getting, the right value, and are they procuring the right thing. So all this is getting sorted out, right, through technology. Then when the belief system comes in, it leads to a lot more things on top of that, right? And it leads to quality based trade, quality based market linkages, and a lot more other things.
Right. So you're already here in the northeastern region, you're already in the Meghalaya market. So tell us a little bit about your experience, how you entered and where are you now as far as Meghalaya is concerned.
Right, right. That is a very relevant question, um, from from our objective as well, because I think that we all know about Lakadong turmeric, right? It's the
Yes.
best quality turmeric that you can get in India today, right? With very high percentages of curcumin, 7 to 12%, right? We started off with working with chili with Spice Board of India, right? And that's when I think we had deployed it in APMC Nizamabad, and um, and it was a huge success there, and they wanted us to go ahead and start off with Spice Board there in Meghalaya, and that's where it all started. Actually, that's why it all started,
Okay.
and we actually started off with using also we have this NIR device which um, gives you the curcumin content instantly, right, on the ground of turmeric, right.
Right.
Typically, if you want to get those tests done, it is a costly test, and it's a very long time drawn process, right? And then people take it in lots. By the time you have to keep your stock and all that, but what if you get that instantly, right, then and there? So it's a very hassle free process for the farmer to get this thing done.
Yes.
And what we did is we worked with Spice Board of India there, and um, we got our machines set up there, and then people have been coming and getting the samples tested there for curcumin, right? So that is where we are currently.
All right.
But if you'd like to discuss more on that, I can give you details.
Yeah, in fact, I would also like to. You mentioned tea, and Assam obviously everybody knows is big on tea. I mean, big is an understatement actually. So, what are your plans there? You know, your plans as far as entering the other northeastern states and products here in the region is concerned.
Right, 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 right. 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 So that's a very very relevant question, Vintam. I think I was just sticking to Spice and Meghalaya, but I think the quality game is far bigger, right? In India, in across India, but the quality game is it's a very open field, I would say. And so we started off with tea, and we have our first product that we built around computer vision, and was for FLC, fine leaf count for tea, right? And we started off with those tea estates in Assam,
Okay.
and in a few places around, right? Along with that, we are working with other procurement agencies like NAFED, also in the northeastern states. Um, what we want to do, right? What our thought process and vision is that we would like to not only help in the procurement process, which is based on quality, but also provide right market linkages, and
Yes.
right way for an entry into international trade, right, for all those commodities there, where it means that what I mean, finally the value is realized through the rightful exports being done, right, on the basis of quality as well.
Right.
So what our thought process there is, Anitam, is it's a very niche area,
Yes.
and we'd like to know uh, basically what we would like to work with the states there, specifically in Northeast, is find out or work with them and figure out which all are the products, right, where quality is mainstream and requires to be done instantly, build products around them, enable quality as a very rapid parameter for testing
Yeah.
immediately, and provide quality based market linkages and quality based trade opportunities, right.
Sure.
And that's how you make anything, because the one of the most important thing today, which we think is important in any value chain, is the availability or the access to market, right? And in our case, it's primarily centered around quality,
Yeah.
so therefore we talk about quality-based market and quality-based trade, right? Yeah.
Right.
So that's our vision for Meghalaya and the other states there. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, what AgNext is doing and plans to do is use the best of technology in the minimum time required, give the results so that we as consumers get better quality products. Is that right, Dr. Panda?
So eventually you get the better quality products for sure,
Yes.
right? What we are ensuring is whenever that commodity is procured and goes through the value chain, everything we are trying to build, those gatekeepers, which are technology based gatekeepers,
Yes.
which are ensuring that quality is taken care of at every point where commodity changes hands.
Right. So basically, every
So
stakeholder
imagine
benefits.
I can give a very
Yes.
yes, everyone benefits here. Everyone benefits here. The
Right.
farmer gets the right value.
Yes.
The guy who's buying from the farmer, the processor is getting the right value, right? And then the value transforms, right? I mean, the value translates to everyone in the food chain.
Right. Yes. So, Dr. Panda, it was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time and wishing you and your company the very best and hoping to see more of your presence across Northeast. Thank you once again and thank you viewers for watching. Thank you so much and goodbye. Thank you, Dr. Panda.